The secret to success is your ego. Because in Blue Lock, the central theme is ego. A force of power forces Isagi and the other characters to push beyond their limits in order to evolve, become newer, stronger, and better versions of themselves to achieve the goal of becoming the best striker in the world. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to use your ego to outperform the majority of people and become one of the top % in the world. So, are you ready?
Your ego is one of the most formidable enemies.
Society tells us having an ego is bad.
But at my company, ego is a huge problem.
We see it so often in life that people are always telling us that ego is bad, that we have to destroy our ego to find happiness in life and success. You hear it all the time, that ego is a terrible thing, you should get rid of your ego, you should destroy your ego. The reason people keep saying that is because there's always people that are going around flashing their egos, they're being arrogant, they're not listening to anyone, they're refusing to take anyone's advice. But knowing that, is ego actually all that bad? I remember when I came back from school, I would go home instantly and run to my room to play video games and to watch TikTok as well. I was very addicted to them. I would always play video games 24/7 and I would keep playing. And I remember I would feel aimlessly. I would feel like I'm aimlessly scrolling through life. I'm not even living. I'm just an empty corpse just existing. I'm just merely there. And then I remember I was scrolling through TikTok once and I see a video of Andrew Tate flashing all his cars and his money and all that. And I remember I thought to myself, how come people like him have all the money in the world? And then I felt my blood starting to boil. There was a huge feeling of rage inside of me. I was really mad. So I went to the bathroom to wash my face. And I was looking at the mirror. I looked at myself and I felt so weak. I remember that the loser I was looking at. I remember the loser that I was looking at. And I broke down and started saying, this is unfair. How come people like him get to have all of that? I started feeling sorry for myself. Sorry for not having for all that. But then, suddenly I was like, no. I refuse to live my life like this. I refuse to feel sorry for myself. I refuse to accept this life. I need what they have. I need to live their life. Seeing him flex his money and his stuff reminded me of my dreams. Reminded me of the dreams that I was thinking about when I was a kid. The things that I wanted to accomplish and do in my life. And seeing that made me angry and mad. And then my ego started to develop and taking over. And I was like, I refuse to accept this life. I refuse to live the life that I don't want. I want to live life on my own accord. So then I started my self-improvement journey. And from now on, I decided that it's either life or death. Now, as you can see, ego is a powerful motivator. It's what drives a person to take action. It's what drives a person to work harder than other people. It's what drives a person to stay in the gym longer than the other person. It's what drives someone to put in the sleepless night and the late mornings, the early mornings and the late nights in order to get ahead of their competitors, in order to be better and stronger than them. After watching that video, after my ego taking over, I went on YouTube to start looking at videos on how to become rich and how to make money. The main person I saw was Eman Gadji. I kept watching his videos for days and days and days over. And I joined Eman Gadji's course, Grow Your Agency, and I also joined Hustlers University by Andrew Tate. But I decided from that moment on that I'm going to change my life. I'm going to live my life on my accords. I'm going to live the life way I wanted to. I was so motivated. I was working 12 hours days. I was watching all these course videos. I was learning all that knowledge. I was so motivated. But can you guess how long that lasted for? And as you can probably guess, after a few days, my ego was gone. My motivation, my main source of starting was gone. I fell back in the same old bad habits. I fell back scrolling on TikTok and scrolling through social media and playing video games. But as I kept scrolling on TikTok, I started seeing 16-year-old kids, 18-year-old kids, people around my age making tens of thousands of dollars of money. And that just frustrated me a lot. And I saw more people flexing their luxury stuff, their luxury toys, and their luxury cars. And that reminded me that I said to myself, it's either life or death. And as I kept scrolling, I kept seeing those videos. My blood boiled really hard. I was in a state of my life where I'd never been. I went to the bathroom, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I punched the mirror, but I didn't punch it as hard. I was restraining my emotions, so I punched it softly. I was clashing with my ego. I was fighting with my ego. I was clashing with my emotions. I was trying to control my emotions, control my ego. And then I broke down from all that stress. I broke down. I was in a state where I'd never been. I never broke down in my life. I broke down so bad. I was in tears. I was in shambles. I couldn't believe this. I felt so bad for myself, but I knew these people put in their work. I fell back in the same old helpless loop with myself. I was ready to give up on even my own life because I didn't want to bow down my head to a boss. But then my ego took over. It was like, no, I refuse to accept this. I refuse to live life like this. I said to myself, it's either life or death, and I will make it to the point where I want to make it in my life. And and seeing myself in all this despair and this frustration just built this huge burning desire in me. There's a huge will in me. To strive and become better. And then I realized at the moment my ego is the main source of my strength. And I decided in order to keep my ego running, then I have to keep frustrating my ego. I have to keep letting my ego get frustrated with all these emotions that I felt that scrolling through social media did to me. I need to redevelop those emotions. I need to take those emotions and implement them. I need my ego to take over. I need my ego to become powerful and stronger. So what I did is I created rivals. I created many rivals, not just one, but many. I created imaginary rivals and I created real-life rivals. So what I did is I went through my YouTube. I went to the biggest creators in my niche. I went through the biggest creators that I know and I watch. I looked at them. I started writing down each one of their names, each one of their uploads. I started writing down their habits and things they're doing. I looked and created a rival for myself, and I said that these people are doing all of this. These people have all these resources, have all these powers, and my rival is the same state as me, and he's doing all of that. And so what I have to do is I have to do better than them. I have to wake up earlier than them. I have to work earlier than them. I have to put in more time than them. I just have to put myself in a position where I do more than them. And if I ever feel unmotivated or lazy or slouched, I look at these rivals who are just working through it. And I say to myself, no, my ego can't handle this. My ego wants to outwork everyone. My ego wants to be ahead of everyone. So using that was a superpower for me. Now, just in case, I created a guide and I put it in the link description below on how you can create your rivals. Now you could create fake rivals for you as well. Or imagine rivals, in other words. As I kept analyzing my rivals, I kept writing down the routines they're doing, the things they're doing that help them succeed. I was writing down the strategies, a book they read, the knowledge they consumed, and I chose that I have to work harder and consume more knowledge than them and work harder than them. So for me and my ego were not constantly clashing. I'm letting my ego take over. I'm letting my ego build me into a better person than I am. I'm letting my ego build me to a more successful and stronger person that I want to be. Now, me and my ego are constantly clashing because my ego is arrogant, and I know that ego can cause you to be arrogant, not to be open-minded. So I'm constantly clashing with him in order to maintain my humility, in order to maintain my humbleness, in order to keep taking in constructive criticism into becoming new. So I'm constantly breaking myself apart, breaking myself into pieces and pieces and pieces, and then rewriting myself again in order to become a stronger and better version. And that's been my routine. I'm just constantly breaking myself every time. It's like someone slamming a hammer into a Legos. It's like a Lego block. You break it and then you build it again in order to construct something better, or to construct something smarter, better, and stronger. So with all the knowledge that I had from them, from all the notes that I've taken down about them, my ego started developing these daily habits for me. My ego decided to develop these daily routines for me. My ego decided to build this discipline for me in order to become better than them, and in order to become stronger and be more successful than any of them. And now I have been going to the gym constantly. I became from someone who was unhealthy, unfit, with terrible form, into someone who's more fit, who's more athletic, who has proper form. And I've been working on my business constantly, every single day, even when I'm sick. I'm constantly working and working on my business. I'm not even stopping. I'm discovering new business models. I'm learning new things. I'm building the knowledge in my head in order to outdo my rivals, in order to become more successful than my rivals. And now in the position I am in, I'm more motivated than ever. My ego is more inflamed. My ego, my ambition, all of it is on a different level now. And I keep working and working, and I'm pushing myself as hard as I can. I'm staying up late nights and doing early mornings in order to get in hours ahead of everyone, because I know these hours will compound later on. My ego is the most powerful weapon that I have. My ego is the main source of my power. It's the main source that's pushing me to keep doing everything that I'm doing. It's pushing me to stay ahead of my competitors. It's pushing me to get to my competitors. Now, when I created my competitors, I didn't look for the small ones. I looked for the biggest competitors in the niche, because I'm going after the big fish. I want the big fish. I don't want to go after the small fish. You can also see this in Blue Lock. Isagi went to go after Rain, the #1 player, rather than going, because he knows that he has to go after the biggest in order to become the best. You may not know this, but your favorite creator, Mr. Beast, you've probably seen him multiple times because he's so huge. He has an ego. He's always constantly saying that no one will outwork him. No one can put in the hours he puts in. No one can achieve his level of success because of how good he made himself to be. And then you have also someone like Elon Musk, who is also has a big ego, who's always telling that no one's gonna outwork him in that industry.
No one's ever gonna do what I do better than me. Like, it's just not, it's not even humanly possible.
I love and I respect you guys. Motherfuckers won't outwork me.
These people that are kings of industries, these people that are billionaires, it's because they have the biggest egos. It's because they use their egos in order to outwork everyone to become the best and the best there is in the industry. And you knowing that your favorite creators have egos, you should develop your own ego too. And now, in conclusion, ego is the most powerful weapon that all of us have. Now, whether you use it or not is up to you, or whether you want to learn how to use it or not is also up to you. The guide will be in the description below, where you can download it to create a rival for your ego. So your ego will constantly be clashing with you in order to become a better version of you.